So Nick, could you tell us a bit about your artistic practice?
Um, so trying to, no, I can't. I can't tell.
Hello there, Nick. Could you tell me a little bit about your art, please?
Um, yeah, I can try. So I seem to still be pretty influenced by surrealism and symbolism, and I particularly am still influenced by kind of horror imagery, classic horror imagery, and the kind of the silliness of that as well, I think.
Silly horror.
Yeah, silly horror, basically.
That's what I often think when I'm in your presence.
Silly horror.
You silly little horror. Get back in the cupboard.
Yeah, exactly.
So horror and silliness is a part.
Well, I think
Part to play.
I don't know. I like I'm painting this tacky Halloween mask at the moment.
Yeah.
Don't really know why, but it's. I don't know. There's a certain aesthetic to it. I quite enjoy. Reminds me of a kind of childhood Halloween that I would have liked to live.
Oh.
But also, masks are always interesting, and
Masks feature very strongly in your work, don't they? And whether it's like a bandage, the mummy paintings that you've done, or definitely masks, or like faces being wrapped, and then sort of perhaps like
I mean, initially, like I wouldn't have done that because I thought there would automatically be kind of too cliched a psychological thing that would lead the viewer to think, oh well, this is like this is something autobiographical, or it's about like the sort of torment of the persona or something, which wasn't really the original intention, but strangely it seems to have come back round to that kind of thing anyway. But originally the rapping, and it was more, I guess it was more about exploring ideas of consciousness symbolically rather than narratively.
right.
But then these things start to become characters in their own right.
Yeah.
That could explore different ideas.
Because you like obviously the portraiture, and I guess aside from the content, there's perhaps something you enjoy about the process of painting as well, or just whether it's just a portrait or
I've always wanted it to be something a bit more than a portrait. Like I think like the figure is like there's something to centralize on, and to bring focus to other abstract ideas, like I don't know really whether there needs to be figures in there anymore, but there is, as you say, something about like the enjoyment of painting, and that I can understand, and that gives me, I can understand the process of what I'm doing with that, and then I can use it to string other ideas to it, really. Like I like ambiguity anyway, so I can
definitely there's a lot.
I can riff off. If I can find a central motif, then I can riff off that a bit.
You can riff off riffs, can't you?
Yeah. That's something that I do enjoy. Yeah, I'm starting to get more into the dialogue of quite self-reference. Seems to be a common thing around at the moment, but I'm finding that very interesting.
Yeah.
And that's been something that's been inherent in the painting since about 2011, probably.
And you like that, like the idea of like some of your interests, perhaps outside of art, with I don't know whether you'd call it esoteric or myths or symbolism.
I think they're all kind of part of the same thing. I mean, it's the kind of Jungian ideas. Like connect all that together for me quite neatly. Like I like thinking about like it's a way to sort of balance out thinking esoterically is to bring it back to Jung. And so yeah, the things I'm interested outside of the arts practice and that inform practice are psychology and archetypal symbolism and how it adapts, how those symbols are inherent in reality automatically and how their meaning changes according to cultural context or at any given time.
Yeah.
That
reminds me of something you said.
Symbols out of context and put them into a different silly meaning or a different. You can hint at. You can use the whole background of occult symbolism if you want to mean a certain series of things, but then you can link that into consumer culture as well to mean another set of things, and the two sitting together can mean another set of things, and it's just that you can unravel that from a certain point if you have entry into that. That's how kind of any modern art works in a way. You need an entry point to be able to start to converse with the thing, but
it reminds me of like
I like there being lots of entry points for different types of conversation within a basically quite simple image.
Yeah, I think you said something before about like the idea of some of these. There's sort of the timeliness or something about the symbolism and sort of reappropriation and perhaps I don't know like what that means, or I guess you could say using old and new, or like ancient things with modern things, which obviously it's just sort of a postmodern thing, isn't it? But
sometimes
maybe
I think
something
for me
more.
it's about actually directing people to something like that is actually quite traditionally occult, something like kind of hermetic principles or something like this, things that I find interesting, and sometimes it will just be directly those things without them being subverted in any way, but maybe it's just the context that I've put them in that's different, like how they that they want them to have a certain modern look about them, or to be able to bounce something modern off those old ideas, and to question things.
How do you feel like it's progressing now, like with perhaps some of the paintings or ideas that you have now?
Sometimes it's just like really shit,
Oh.
and like really hard to carry on. So I think at the moment it's just things come and go. At the moment things are a bit hard like that.
Yeah.
But you just kind of I've come to a point where I'm just starting anywhere again, because I think that was one thing that I read. If you don't know where to start anywhere. So I started anywhere again, and I think through that you remind yourself what you're excited about. So hopefully in a few days I'll be excited again, and I'll pull out my sketchbook and remind myself of the ideas that I've got lined up, and I'll think about those in a new way again, and hopefully really manage to immerse myself in what I'm doing while I've got the time.
That sounds quite cool. There's a certain energy to that, and like the idea of just not thinking too much, just going into something and playing with just the spontaneity of the artistic, of the creative process of just inspiration basically. I guess that's I don't know if that's sort of what you mean about just I've just chosen to paint this plastic Halloween mask. But already there's some new ideas forming around that, like some ways that I can make it more interesting. You can get caught up on trying to
think about the end product, or not start something because you think it's not interesting or clever enough. But hopefully, it just does show. I think like it's the main part. The main thing is really process and just doing painting.
Process, going with the movement.
Yeah, and it leads you into new things. It's those ideas come from somewhere outside of the self almost. You just need doing to make them.
Yeah.
Spark new things.
And sometimes it's like perhaps it might feel a bit like juggling several eggs in a basket, like in the sense that you've there's different avenues, or there's different types of paintings you do. Like there's the ones we're talking about, the portraits, if you will. Then alongside that, there's still life, and there's certainly you kind of got different pockets of work. You also got obviously your abstract, more experimental work that you pursuing as well. So yeah, I wonder what that's like, kind of having these different things. Is it kind of both kind of ups and downs to it?
Yeah, it's both. I find that confusing at the moment as well as useful. Like it's useful to keep juggling between things to keep things fresh, and if I get stuck on one thing, then I can play really with the abstractions. Really, just play, and because sometimes there's some, when the other things I'm doing kind of quite tight, and I'm a bit joyless sometimes in the actual process. Although once you get into it, it's enjoyable, but it's
kind of
just
quite arduous.
Come along and just push paint around and remember how fun it is to do that.
Yeah.
And that leads to ideas as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to find my direction a bit, really.
Well, thanks, Nick. It's definitely like given an insight into your art, I think.
Dry.
Have you got any T-shirts coming out that you could that the viewer could purchase if they click on the right button on their mouse, or
there's
shut their eyes again?
There's this one called Oily Backstack.
Oh yeah.
It's Oily Backstack. That's a T-shirt that's coming up by me.
Oh,
and then there's Jupiter Handwag.
That reminds me a bit of Reebok.
T-shirt ideas on the wall here for Spout Game and Jim's Thistle.
So you're definitely going to sort of give Michael Jordan a run for his money, yeah.
Yeah.
You're quite naughty, really, aren't you? And yes, well, and I believe you've got a
book out.
You've got some socks, obviously, but you've also got an exhibition coming up in the next year.
No, I don't want to talk about that.
Oh,